We are going through the homework for lesson 10. So we're on chapter 2, lesson 10 homework, and that's page 141, starting on page 141. And we're doing this homework just so we can get some extra practice doing our multiple digit multiplication, multiplying by 2-digit numbers. Okay. Alicia lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Last year, her family drove to Atlanta, Georgia, each month to visit her grandmother. Find the total distance they drove to visit her grandmother for the year. So, let's see. We've got the distance from Atlanta to Nashville, distance from Nashville is 498 miles. Now, they've given you this stat for Raleigh. They don't want to know about Raleigh. They're just kind of trying to throw you off. So it didn't ask anything about Raleigh, so we can just cross that off. So what we're going to do is 498 miles per trip, and she went 12 trips. So we're going to multiply 498 times 12. We can estimate that, turn that 498 into 500 and that 12 into 10. Then I just multiply my 1 and my 5 to get 5, and I count 1, 2, 3 zeros. So 5,000 is our estimate. Our answer should be somewhere around that. First step, we're going to write it out, and I'm going to go ahead and do it on this paper. Now, it doesn't exactly fit, but that's okay. So it's 498 times 12. So I'm just going to put my 4, it's in the house here, 498 times 12. So my first step 1 is to multiply the 1s. So we can circle our 2 here. And we're going to ignore that 1 for the time being. So 2 times 8 is 16. I would put 16 here, but I've got other numbers to multiply, so I'm going to carry that 1 up here, plus 1. Now I have 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 19, I put my 9, and I carry my 1 up to the top. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So the first step 1 of those problems, step 1 through 3, gave me the answer of 996. Let's check. Yep, they got that. Now I cross off that 2 because I'm done with it, and I go down immediately below and put my place for my 0. I can also cross these off. Since it's a whiteboard, I can erase them, but if you had your pencil and paper, you can also just cross it off. Now I'm going to do my squares. So that's your tens. So we're going to do 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. I've marked off all of those. I can be finished. And now I'm going to add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry my 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5,000, oops, sorry about that, 5,976. And let's check with what they got here. 5,976. We can compare it to our original estimate. Our original estimate was about 5,000. So 5,976 is about 5,000. So my answer is reasonable, so it makes sense. So let's look at this. It says estimate, then multiply. Use your estimate to check your answer. So we could estimate this 19, let's make that 20, and 15, let's make that 10. We could actually go the other way and make it 20. Either one is fine for estimate. 2 times 1, I've got my 2 and 2 zeros. My answer should be close to 200. Close to 200. Now I'm going to go back to my sheet and I'm going to clean it off. The sheet can be really helpful if you're struggling with organizing this work. So please, please, please use this sheet. It is for you. 19 times 15 is our work. 19 times 15. So we're going to write that in. 19 times 15. Start with the circles. 5 times 9 is 45. I put my 5 is in the ones and I carry the tens. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. And now I'm done. I'm done with that 5. I've multiplied it by all those steps. I cross it off and I immediately go down and write my 0. This is the step that almost all students forget in the 5th grade, is writing that 0. It's so important that you get in the habit of crossing off and immediately writing the 0 so you don't forget. Now we multiply our tens. Oh, we should probably cross this off or get rid of it. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. I'm finished with those. Now I add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 285 is my answer. Can write that down below in my book. 285, and that is about 200. So I know that I've checked my work. My answer is reasonable. Let's estimate this one. Let's do 40 times 60. 4 times 6, I know that fact is 24, and then 2 zeros. This one should be close to 2,400. This one should be close to 2,400. Now I'm going to write it out on my sheet. 43 times 65. 43 times 65. Start in the ones. You can circle it. My circles go with circles. 5 times 3 is 15. I write the ones digit and I carry the tens. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Can mark this off. I'm done with it. Cross that off, you're done, and immediately go down and write your 0. Next step, we're going to do the squares. Squares. 6 times 3 is 18. I write my 8, the ones digit, and I carry the tens. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. I've finished that, and so now I add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 plus nothing is 2. My answer is 2,795. I'm going to write that on my paper. 2,795, and that is about, it's close to my estimate. So I've checked my work. Let's do number 3. 470 times 56. So let's estimate, let's make that, that's really close to 500, and that's really close to 50. So let's do 500 times 50. 5 times 5 is 25, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 25,000 is what this estimate is. 25,000. So we're going to erase our work here. And I'm just using a tissue. You can use that if you have one. We're going to write our work 470 times 56. 470 has the most digits, so I need to write it on top. 470 times 56. And remember, this is a little home base. It's in the house, but you don't have to write that in if you don't want to. I start in the ones, and I'm going to multiply this 6 times all of these numbers. So there's going to be 3 steps on this 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 7 is 42. So I put my 2, write the ones, and I carry my tens. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now there's not a space here for it, but you can just imagine that these circles go on. 28. I'm done with my 6. I cross it off and immediately go down and add a 0. I also want to get rid of anything I wrote up here so I don't get confused. You can cross it off, you can erase it, it's up to you. Next step, I do the tens. 5 times 0 is 0, and yes, I'm writing another 0 because that's my answer to my multiplication there. I have to write that 0, it's an important placeholder. 5 times 7 is 35, so I'm going to put my 5 here and carry the 3 up here. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3, 1, 2, 3 is 23. And that would be in a box as well. It's on the box level. We add. Got everything multiplied, now we add. 0 plus 0 is 0, 2 plus 0 is 2, 8 plus 5 is 13, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, and then 2 plus nothing. So my answer is 26,320. 26,320. We check for reasonableness. Was 26,320 close to 25,000? Yes, it is. So we have checked our work.
Can we go to the picture book? They said we might start till 5.
Probably in a little bit.
Can I see if I can ride with them?
Not right now. No. I don't want to ask Lexi that last minute, okay? I'll just take you, okay?
But when is that going to be?
I'm done at 1:30. I can take you. So if you get, it's like you need to eat lunch and then get your stuff and then I'll take you. Get your bathing suit on and stuff. Okay, we're going to go on to the next page. Go on here to the next page, problem solving. Miss Jenkins was arranging chairs for a school awards assembly. Each row contained 15 chairs. If there are 21 rows, how many chairs had to be arranged? So remember, we've got 21 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 21, and 15 chairs in each row. So this is an array, and remember, we can get like an area model and multiply. So we're going to multiply 21 times 15. 21 times 15 for this. And you definitely can use this still. The more practice you get on this practice tracker, on this multiplication chart, it's going to help you when you have to do this without it. So it's 21 times 15. First step, I'm going to start with what I circle in the ones. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I would carry my 1, but there's nothing left to multiply, so it just falls right back down to below it, to the next digit. I'm done with my 5. I cross it off and immediately write my 0 below it. Now I'm going to do the squares. I'm going to multiply the 10s. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. I'm done with multiplying. Now I add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer on this one is 315 somethings. Let's see, 315 chairs. 315 chairs. And we can check to see if that's reasonable. Let's just make this 20 by, let's do 20 times 20. That'd be 400 chairs. So it's about that. So I would say it's a reasonable answer. A reasonable answer. Okay, let's do number 5. Leon earns $14 an hour. How much does he earn in 4 weeks? If he works 12 hours each week. It's asking us a lot of things here. So first, let's figure out how much he makes each week. So he works 12 hours a week, each week, and he gets $14 an hour. So every hour he works, he gets 14, and he earned 12. He works 12 of them each week. Now, we could write out 12 of these and add them up, but remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. So instead of adding 14, 14, 14, 14, 12 times, we're going to multiply 14 times 12. And that's going to get how much he earns in 1 week. So let's do 14 times 12. So we're going to write it on our chart, 14 times 12. And it doesn't matter which one goes on top. You can multiply in any order. It's helpful when you do this that the most digits go on top, but these are the same. Start with my ones. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. I'm done with my ones. I cross it off and immediately write the 0. Now I do my 10s. 1 times 4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. I'm done with my 10s. There's nothing else to multiply, so I'm going to add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. Nothing plus 1 is 1. 168. So we know that 1 week Leon earns $168 in 1 week. But how many weeks is it asking about? It's asking about 4 weeks. So we can go 168 plus 168 plus 168 plus 168. But remember, multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. So instead, we can just multiply 168 times 4. So we can go back into our handy sheet here. And I know that the top is missing one of his little icons, but we're going to do 168 times 4. He earns that in $168 each week, and he's working 4 weeks, so we multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. I carry the tens. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 3, 24, 25, 26, 27. I write the 7, and I carry that tens up to the top. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 5, 6. And I'm done. There's not another thing to multiply, so there's only one answer here. So 672 is my final answer. Leon earned, and it's dollars, $672. Okay, let's look at this question. Without actually calculating, how much greater is the product of 98 times 50 than 97 times 50? Now this is interesting because it doesn't want you to calculate it. It doesn't want you to write it out and do the math and then figure out the difference. But let's think about what we're doing here. This is 98 groups of 50. So that's 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, 98 times. There's the 98th one. And this is 97 groups of 50. 50 plus 50 plus 50, all the way to 97 times. So if you wrote that out, what would be the difference between these two? This is 98 groups of 50, and this is 97 groups of 50. So what would the difference be? It would be 50. Because if you added one more group of 50, the 98th group of 50, you would be even. 2 more problems. Hang in there. Hang in there. 2 more problems. It says the table shows Katrina's prices for dog walking. Oh, she's got a dog walking business. If she walks 5 medium-sized dogs and 8 large-sized dogs for 12 weeks, how much will she earn? So let's look at our table. The table has dog types, small, medium, and large, and the cost that she makes per week for those dogs. She gets $10 for a small dog, $12 for a medium dog, and $14 for a large dog. So let's go back to our question here. If she walks 5 medium-sized dogs, so it's going to be 12 times 5, and 8 large-sized dogs times 8 for 12 weeks. This is per week. That's only 1 week. So we're going to have to get those answers, and then we're going to have to multiply them by 12 weeks. Did she walk any small dogs? No, at least not on this problem. So we can just ignore that. That is an extra fact that they've given you just to kind of throw you off. So first thing we need to do is 12 times 5. That's a fact you guys have memorized, so you should know that that's 60. 14 times 8, you might not know. I don't know that one off the top of my head. So we're going to write it out and do 14 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. I carry my 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3, 9, 10, 11. So that's 112. So she earns this much money, 60 plus 112. Let's figure out how much that is. We're going to add 60 to our 112. She earns $172, but that's just for 1 week. Wow, that's a lot of money. She says she does this for 12 weeks. So we actually have to multiply 172 times 12. 172 times 12. So that's where our multi-digit multiplication comes in. 172, remember we can put this in the house if we want, times 12. $172 each week times 12 weeks. Start with the ones. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. I write the ones and I carry the tens. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I'm done with my ones. I cross it off and immediately go down and write my 0. Now I must do the tens, the squares. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. And see how that 1 up there, I forgot to mark it off? So you might be tempted to add a 1 there, so that's why we had to mark that off from earlier. I've done all of my multiplication, so now I just add. 4 plus 0 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 7 is 10, carry my 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. $2,064 is the total amount. $2,064 is the total amount she will earn in 12 weeks of dog walking those dogs. That's pretty amazing. Last problem, you guys, hang in there, we're almost done. Each day there are 12 tours at the glass factory. 28 people can go on a tour. How many people can tour the glass factory each day? So remember, each day, each is one of our key words. That means multiplication. So we're going to do 28 times 12. So I'm going to do it on this paper just to show you that you don't have to use your tracker, but you certainly can. We start with the ones. 2 times 8 is 16. I write the ones and I carry the tens. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I'm going to mark that off the top, mark off my ones, I'm done, and immediately write my 0. Now I do the tens. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. I'm done multiplying. I'm going to add these together. 0 plus 6 is 6. 5 plus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2 plus 1 is 3. 336. See if we can find it. 236, no. 280, no. 336 people. And that is all. Fantastic work, you guys. Keep using this tracker. Keep using that to practice so that you can get more and more confident with this multiplication. You guys are going to get it. Keep it up.